Okay, hey guys, happy Tuesday. Okay, so this morning we have Tasha Scott who's going to be sharing with you guys. She just went Fast Start Ruby last month and she is on her way to Fast Start Senior Ruby. And she has so many amazing ideas and ways that she runs her business. Like she is super coachable, but at the same time, she also takes initiative. So, like, most of the things that she's going to share with you guys today are not necessarily things that we told her to do. She heard the idea of things that we recommended, and then she made it her own and she ran with it. And she has this super fun notebook that she's going to share with you guys. Literally, it goes everywhere with her. She is so detailed, like she knows all the things that are happening. So I am super excited for her to share with you guys. So take lots of notes because the things that she's sharing is obviously working because her business is booming. So go ahead.
Good morning, guys. Um, if anyone comes in, you hear a toddler, you know what? It's life. I've got a 3-year-old and he's outside with his brothers. And if they make him mad, well, he's going to come tell me about it. So first, let's talk about my backstory really quick. I know some of you have probably already heard that. I was in sales about 8 or 9 years ago. I bounced around through like 4 companies. Never really found my niche, and then the very last one shut down like overnight. Didn't tell anyone, and it completely crushed me. I'd poured my whole heart and soul into it, and I was done. Swore it off entirely. Fast forward to last year, whenever Ashley Taylor started sharing about these products and talking about them. I know her, I've known her for years. I know she's not the type to just hop on to any trend, and definitely not the type to do this kind of business unless it's legit. So I watched her, and finally I was like, okay, tell me what this is. Let's talk about this. And she spilled it. I haven't looked back. I'm so thankful that I did get to watch her start that journey and that she's with me on it. So that being said, you know, first I want to say it's about your mindset. Um, and I was honestly just sharing with my son sitting across the table with me, who is 11, who wants to play basketball. I said, it's all mindset, kiddo. You want to play basketball. He's a little bit lazy. We'll just say it. He's always been the type, my legs hurt, or it's so hot. Well, you know what? Yeah, your legs are going to hurt and it's going to be hot. But if your mindset is, I am a basketball player, then you're going to do whatever it takes to be a basketball player. And I said, you know what? For me with Plexus, I am a diamond. I am. My business is just catching up to me. Like that's it. I am. Whatever it is, if you want to say I am gold and that's your goal, well, okay, that's great. Be a gold. But I am a diamond and that's where I'm going. So that's my mindset every single day. I laughed with Megan. So this is the famous notebook she's talking about. It does go everywhere with me. And I shared something with her that I haven't shown anyone. Like I was home alone during nap time one day. And for me, it's about doing everything to remind yourself what you are. And this is just one of the things that I did. I'm very much a doodle person. I'll find myself just sitting and writing things down, drawing squiggly lines. And I ended up with this. So this was like a map for me for Ruby. This is the first one, second one. Sorry, it's the second one I did. And it literally, I just started doodling and going. it was about being in that mind, and I write it down everywhere. So for Ruby, it wasn't, okay, it's May, I'm going to hit Fast Start Ruby. I planned Fast Start Ruby in April. April 1st, I told Ashley and Megan both, I said, guys, if I hit it this month, that's great. My goal is May. I will hit it in May. Not I want to, I will. And that's like this month. My goal for this month is building to Senior Ruby. I'll share my spreadsheets with you guys. And this is week 1, and Senior Ruby Prep Month. That is, I write it down everywhere. So let's talk about what I do every single month and what I've been doing. I'm very much a numbers person. I start on day 1 and I look at how many days are in the month, how many recurring orders I'm going to have, and how many I need. And of course, those recurring orders will change. But if I have someone who cancels their subscription, I reach out to them immediately. And because I do these spreadsheets weekly, I keep up with that. I will reach out to them. Most of the time, they have been forgetting to take their products, and they have too much. So instead of, I'll let them skip the month if that's what they want. But instead of just giving up there, I'm like, okay, well, we have lots of energy products too. And I know you had mentioned energy or whatever you guys have talked about, because I do follow up with everyone a lot. I follow up on delivery day. I follow up 2 weeks in, and then I follow up right before their subscription should go out, about a week before. So I guess about 3 weeks in, just to remind them, because if you're like me, I would not be happy if something come out of my account that I wasn't ready for. So I'm following up, and most of the time, whenever I say, hey, well, you could try these energy products. Edge is really good, MetaBurn, that's going to supercharge your metabolism. They're always willing to order something else. And that gives you something for that month. And then, if they create that subscription, I have talked to people who they want to do the gut health, but then they want to do weight loss products too, but they really can't afford that much at once. So you start their triplex at the beginning of the month, and then 2 weeks in, you start their energy products or something else. Space it out for them. I rarely have someone who's like, absolutely not, I can't afford any of that. Because I give them that option. I'm like, okay, well, we can do this week and this that week. And after the first month, you're going to be on a rotation where you're not going to run out of anything. And that's something I guess I try to think of it for myself, like what would be good for me if I was struggling, but I really wanted to make sure I had my products. I try not to shop with other people's wallets. I try to shop with my wallet and what I would look for. I'm not necessarily a tightwad, but I do like my money, and I like to do things with it. So let's see. I go live on Facebook a lot. I don't know if you guys are on my Facebook or you follow me, but if you do, I will literally just go live to talk to people. I always end up talking about Plexus, and that's kind of the thing, that's why I want to go live, is so I can get people interested. And my lives usually start out like, I'm sitting on the porch enjoying my day, and bring up how thankful I am that I'm able to do that. And then my conversations lead into the business or the products. I always have a goal with what my conversations are going to be. And people are watching me right now. It makes me anxious. I'll just be honest with you guys. I can't wrap my mind around it, because I've been with the other companies and I had to work so hard to get so little back. And I feel like I'm I don't feel like I'm doing a whole lot. Like the companies I was with were like cold message companies, and I hate that so much. I Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but anyways, you know, I cannot stand cold messages, and even in between me being in the business, I have had people cold message me and call me the wrong name because they're just copying and pasting, and it's like, "Hey, Susan, do you want to lose 30 pounds?" And I'm like, "Okay, well, first, my name is not Susan, so I know you copied and pasted this, and I have been in the business before, so let me help you. Let me tell you what you did wrong because you're not going to get anywhere with this. You literally just sent me a friend's request and then called me the wrong name because you copied the message from the last person that you sent it to." So I definitely don't do cold messages. I try to create a relationship with anyone. There's simple things that get you in people's algorithms, like wishing happy birthdays. If someone comments on something, respond to every single comment. Even if you just put like a smiley face or an emoji, respond to that because that's going to keep you in their algorithm even more. And it's going to show that you're communicating with them, you're interacting. That is huge. A lot of people will stop communicating on your stuff because you don't respond to their comments. You just leave it, you don't like it, you don't do anything. So they're like, well, okay, well, I see that picture she's posted, but she didn't talk to me last time, so I'm just going to scroll on by. Shout out post. I know every other company I've been with, the shout out posts are not. Sorry, I'm looking out the back door. My 3-year-old is throwing a fit on his brother. The shout out posts were not shout out posts. They were thank you for your purchase. And that's kind of what I came from. And I always wanted to thank people. So I what? Come on in, let him in. We get to hear my little crying boy for a second. Come here, you can come sit with me. What? Let him have some water. Okay. Thank you. I got it. Sorry, guys. So the shout out posting was something. He's got a bottle of water. The shout out post was something completely new to me. I had never asked anyone for a shout out post. So whenever I did, I was kind of a little bit uncomfortable with it. And so finally, I started doing it. I started asking, and I know. And he loves Miss Megan so much. I started doing it, and I realized I wasn't exactly getting what I had hoped for from them, or what I guess I expected. I always set my expectations high. I worked for a doctor one time who said, under promise and over deliver. I'm not as excited about that. Like, I don't want to under promise anything. I want to over promise and over deliver. Like I want to do both of those. I want it to be a positive. I don't want you to think, oh, well, I'm just going to get that. I like to live my life like that. So whenever I looked at these shout out posts, I was like, okay, so I'm sending someone a script. Yes, that's great, but I live in a small town, and I
Mommy,
what?
There's no playing any games outside.
Well, they're gonna play some games outside. Don't worry.
But
Would you like? You're nosy. Would you like to say hi really fast? Say hi, everyone.
Hi.
Okay. Now everybody's waving at you. No, you go play. I love
Mommy,
you. Go on.
There's no play. There's no play all day.
Okay, well, they're gonna play a game. They can play the game with him. Do whatever it takes to make him happy for just a few more minutes, right? So with the shout out post, I'm sorry, I've stumbled around on that. I live in a small town, and I have like 3,000 or 4,000 friends on Facebook, and everybody is going to see the exact same script. And so I was like, well, you know what? Yes, it takes more effort what I do, but I do not send scripts anymore. And I'm not really sending them the shout out post right away either. Like, okay, you ordered something. Thank you for your order. Will you shout me out? I am reaching out to them at that 2-week point. And typically, you guys know, triplex at 2 weeks, they've experienced something usually. And so at 2 weeks, I'm like, hey, you know, how are you loving your products? And whenever they tell me how great they are, or that they're sleeping better or something, they have a personal opinion about the products now. They're not just, hey, I've ordered this, I've decided to jump on the bandwagon. Because I've seen that a lot. They know. So I will ask them, will you post a shout out for me? That's going to get, how are you loving your products? What?
You gonna let me turn them?
No, you need to go outside and I'll be out there in a few minutes.
I don't want.
Okay, well then go in your room. Will you post a shout out for me? Yes, of course. What do I say? Okay, well, you either post what you feel. If the person still doesn't feel comfortable with, you know, wording something, I'm going to type something up for them right there. It's never going to be the same for 2 different people. And then I will leave a space for them to fill in whatever they've benefited from. They've better sleep. Their bathroom habits have regulated, whatever it is. I'm going to write down or type out for them and send that to them and ask them to make it their own and add their details to it. Most of the time, people are just willing to type up whatever it is. Do I see a Hezzy booty? Look at him, Megan. That's so funny. But most of the time, they're willing to just type something up. And I ask them to post a picture of themselves with the product. That way people know, I didn't just order this. I already have it. I'm already using it. And this is what it's doing for me. Those posts are the reason that I hit Ruby last month. About 10 days, I think it was, I made a graphic and I had like 28 orders that I had to get. Don't let me run over on this. I had like 28 orders that I had to get. And I went through every single person who has ever ordered from me. And I sent them a message and I said, hey, I know you've been using the products. I know you've been loving the products. Would you mind posting a shout out for me? I have a huge goal that I'm trying to reach. A lot of time, like honesty, that is the absolute best thing. If you're honest with someone, hey, I'm trying to reach a goal and I know if you posted, it would help me. And typically you're going to get at least one order from that. Now I've got like, at the time I had like 100 VIPs. So obviously not everyone posted and I got ghosted a lot. Do not let people ghosting you get you down or discourage you. I had a girl recently who I've been talking to since I joined. So I joined the last week in February. And I've been talking to her since March. And I had even, so I have a list of what I call my skeptics list. And it's actually like 4 pages long, front and back. But I mark people off. Once I'm like, I'll message them after I've sent messages and they've ghosted me for like 2 months. I'm like, okay, would you like for me to take you off my follow-up list? And if they say yes, I'll just mark them out. I had marked her off and she was the last order that actually sent me over to Ruby. So she's been watching. I don't know what's going on in people's lives. I don't know their financial situation. I don't know any of that. So I am never pushy about an order. If I give you the details, I know I've done my part, and you just still, you're like, okay, well, I'll think about it. Okay, that's great. I'm moving on. I'm not, and I've kind of moved on like with my team too. This month I'm doing a lot of like team building and business building, and I had some girls that were, and they're, you know, they're great girls, but I think they more so just wanted to pay for their own products, and their heart wasn't where my heart was for them. You can't want something for someone else. They have to want it for themselves. You cannot lead a horse. You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink. Like, so no matter how hard you work, you can't make someone grow their own business. And I had to really have a come to Jesus talk with myself about that, because I was taking away from my girls who were working so hard, and really, you know, even getting ghosted by the other ones. So I'm always now, like, I'm focusing on helping those who want to help themselves. Let's see. I told you guys that I'm planning Fast Start Ruby or Fast Start Senior Ruby for July. I have already started doing all of my planning. This month, I'm going to convention. Who else is going? I'm so excited. Michael, you're probably not as excited about the bag that as we all are, but hey, I mean, you can rock it. You can rock it. You can put your man stuff in there. I mean, it'll work. I'm going. So I'm trying to do all of my stuff at the beginning of the month, the first 2 weeks, because then, hey, there you go. Absolutely. They will love you. It is so cute. The first 2 weeks, I've really been doing the work. Yes, exactly. Front loading, doing the work, because we had our family vacation planned for the last week in this month, and had it planned since last year. So whenever I joined, and then everything exploded in March, I ranked 3 times in March. So when that happened, I was like, okay, I have to go to convention. Megan and Ashley and Megan and Phil, and they're all like, you have to go. So I've put my focus on that. So this month I literally have 2 weeks that I'm going to be working, because as soon as we come back, we're leaving. And, you know, yes, I'm going to work my business. I've already like got my list made, my to-dos while I'm in Vegas. I still plan on working my business in Vegas. I still plan on working it in Florida. Like, I'm going to do that. I guess, guys, what it really comes down to is what I said in the beginning, and that's where I'm going to end with. I'm going to remind you guys.
Mommy, there's no anything inside.
It's okay. I'm almost finished. I'm going to leave you with what I started with.
Mommy.
Your mindset. If you take absolutely anything away from this, because I can talk to you about my spreadsheets, and I can talk to you about everything else. I can give you every tip, follow up with your people. I can, make them feel like family. When someone messages you, you don't want to just try to sell to them. You want to make them feel like family. But if you take anything away from this, your mindset, change it. Whatever you want, that's what it needs to be. Put Post-its. I've got Post-its on my bathroom mirror right now, because every morning I go in there and I brush my teeth. Every night I go in there and brush my teeth. And I've got them in my car. I have them everywhere. If you struggle with putting your mindset there, put it everywhere. Every single place you look, you spend time, put it there. The lock screen on my phone says Senior Ruby. How many times do we pick our phones up? Put your mindset where you want to be, and you'll get there. Megan, that's all I've got. You got 5 minutes left.
Okay, you guys, was that not amazing? Okay. What I love about Tasha is that she takes the things and she runs with them, and she doesn't just do the bare minimum, she does extra, right? Like, did you hear that in every single thing that she does? She does it with care, she does it with passion, she does it with heart. And that's what makes all the difference. When people are talking to her, they can feel her energy. And here's what else I love too, you guys. Okay, she found that she wasn't getting the results that she wanted from those initial shout out posts, you guys. So she was doing the follow up ones. If you are not asking people in a few weeks after they're loving their products to shout you out, you are missing out on tons and tons of people. I'm still going to say I'm a supporter of the initial shout out post because that has worked for me over the years. Okay. But you have to do both, right? You have to do the follow up. And if people are really resistant to the beginning one, okay, like we had someone just the other day, they were super resistant to the first one. And we were like, okay, well, when you are loving your products, would you be willing to share with other people? Most of the time, they will say yes. So you're setting yourself up for them to share when they're loving it. Then, when you're doing your due diligence, just the way Tasha's talking about checking in with them, and they're telling you things that they're loving, oh my gosh, would you share that on Facebook? Yes, because they're loving it, you guys. There's so many people that you're probably missing out on. Also, don't be afraid to get creative like she did. Okay. It takes a little bit more effort, a little bit more work. But if you're doing something and you're not getting the results that you want, get creative and change it up, right? We always say, like, chew on the meat, spit out the bones. Like, the premise of what we're saying is this is going to help grow your business because you're getting it in front of more people. But if the actual tactic of how we're saying it isn't working, you were in business for yourself, right? But it's not by yourself. So that means that you have to take the lead and you have to take the initiative to figure out what works, right? And again, with the mindset stuff, right? We're always saying, like, bring it to the forefront of your mind. And Tasha's like, well, here's how I'm going to bring it to the forefront of my mind. I'm going to do the post-it notes. I'm going to do it as my screensaver. I'm going to write it down in my notebook every single day. Figure out those things that work for you. So I'm just so impressed with her. Like, literally every single time she shares something that she's doing, I'm like, Tasha, this is amazing. Like, you're running your business like a diamond. It makes me so excited. And there's so many things just about the way that she runs. There's so many things about the way that she runs her business that I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, this is so impressive. This is so amazing. And everyone's always like, okay, what are the people doing to get to Fast Start Ruby? What are the people doing who are thriving and growing in their businesses? She's not waiting around for somebody to tell her what to do. That's for dang sure, right? Nobody said, Tasha, get a notebook. Nobody said, hey, you need to go for this. Nobody was following her around saying, hey, Tasha, you need to do this. She was like, what do I need to do to hit this? And then she got to work. Some of you are just waiting around for somebody else to spoon feed you and tell you the next thing to do. And I'm here to tell you, you are not going to go Fast Start Ruby that way, right? So don't wait around. Don't be afraid to ask questions. This is the other thing Tasha does that she didn't share on here, is that she will message people who are on fire or who are in places where she wants to be. And she'll be like, hey, give me a tip. Like, what's one of your top tips for growing your business to be successful? Like, she's always learning. She's always growing. She is not afraid to reach out to a person in this business, sideline, upline, downline, anyone, to say, hey, what are you doing that's working right now? I want to learn from you. Like, that shows great initiative as well, because we always want to be learning and growing. So you guys, in our Energy Bus chat, go drop Tasha some love because she did absolutely amazing. And we are cheering her on towards Senior Ruby. Thanks.